Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturcio and Chris Gucci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here on a Monday. It is Monday, March the 13th, 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is over. The tampering has arrived. It's NFL tampering period starts at 12 o'clock, but first and foremost, Dave Sturcio, the return of Chris Gucci.
Yes.
Off his, I told you, he literally, you remember when Geno Smith got out of line and talked his stuff and then got, you know?
I got drilled in my face by my dentist.
So,
I had a sinus.
how you feeling? You all right? You good?
I'm good. I mean,
right.
I'm better.
All right, good.
I'm not 100% yet, but we're here anyway. 80% me is as good as anybody, right?
I agree. 80% is better than me sitting here by myself talking. That's for damn sure. A lot to get into today. Like I said, the NFL tampering period begins. If you don't know what that is, the NFL new league year starts on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Everybody's excited about that because that's when you can actually ink your deals. But between 12 and Wednesday, this is where you're going to see the frenzy begin. This is where other teams start to negotiate the contracts with other players. You're going to see agreed to terms. You're going to see Adam Schefter losing his damn mind all over on Twitter. Now, look, I will preface it with this. Be careful, be wary of fake accounts. They usually pop up around this time. Make sure it's the real Adam Schefter, the real Ian Rappaport, the real guys that are, reporting this stuff. You can also just go on over to Mojo on their app and download there. They're usually on top of the ball, so no fake sources there.
And this is a tampering period, a legal tampering period. So you're going to see things get released like this team and this player agree to terms. And then 2 days later, it's not going to happen because someone else is allowed to step in.
I think the last time that significantly happened was Anthony Barr to the Jets 2 years ago.
It happened with last year was Adarius.
That's true. With
that
the Ravens.
That might have been down the line, though. I don't know if that was a tampering situation.
I don't know.
May have
but
been further
I
into
definitely
free agency.
remember Anthony
Yes,
Barr inking with the Jets, and people were like, yeah, we got Anthony Barr. And this was 2 years ago, not just 2022 Anthony Barr, where he was just like subpar. This was 2 years ago, Anthony Barr. So it was a big move for the Jets. Next thing you know, he pulls the rug out from underneath, and he's a Viking after all at that time. But there is a lot of NFL news to get to. It started on Friday. There is a lot to get into real quick. I do have a lot of NBA stuff over the weekend. We'll touch on that before the end of the show. But Friday, the biggest news to drop on Friday was a little bit after Mojo came out with this show. It was around 10 a.m. All of the rumors were justified and clarified, and Adam Thielen was cut by the Minnesota Vikings, opening up a massive hole at wide receiver 2, I think, even though Osborne came on at the end of the year.
I think that's the thing. Osborne came on late, and there's no reason you're going to – Thielen, his time in Minnesota is up. You saw it tailed off a lot last year, but, hey, I'd sign him for
I got roasted on Twitter for wanting a Thielen in Dallas, thinking that it was like a Lamb Gallup. Thielen as the 3 wouldn't be so bad over the middle, but he's slow, he's past his prime, he's 30.
I'm not looking for Thielen to be anybody other than a third down guy that's going to be reliable in big spots.
And that's
I think
fine.
he could play a little bit longer in this league at that role, but I don't think Thielen's going to be scoring double-digit touchdowns anytime soon again.
No, probably not, but again, I think he's a serviceable player. I think there's going to be a heavy market for him because of the fact that the wide receiver market going into that, before that happened, was just a little, it was subpar. It was just like, it wasn't huge. It wasn't lucrative. There's Mac Hollins out there. There's Juju, who was probably going to return to Kansas City from everything I've heard and read. So Odell Beckham Jr., who has not been added to the Mojo app yet, you want to just keep your tabs on that. He had himself a workout. He's all of a sudden piquing some interest from squads. However, there's rumors saying he wants $20 million a year. So if that's the case, then a lot of teams are going to be like, I'm good.
Look, these rumors are just rumors. It's the agent coming out and saying something, and then you say a crazy number, much like everyone went nuts.
That's a crazy number.
Everyone went nuts when Daniel Jones said he wanted $45 million per. The Giants publicly said they give him $35 per. Where'd they end up?
40.
I don't think it's going to be the case with Odell. He might be lucky to get $10 million per. 2 years, $20 million seems a little more likely.
I said on Friday he's going to want security. I say you give him 2 years with an out after 1. Like you have some kind of player, some kind of structure where if things don't go well, that you have an out. The team has an out. So we'll see what happens with that one. The big news that dropped yesterday, obviously, was another bombshell. The Los Angeles Rams have retracted everything they ever said about draft picks, okay? Because they are trying to get as many as them back because all of a sudden they're letting Bobby Wagner walk. They're letting There was another Leonard Floyd walk.
And the thing is, they're not even getting draft picks in return. They're just fixing what is the worst salary cap situation in the history of the NFL, outside of the current New Orleans Saints salary cap situation.
Well, brutal. Apparently, they don't have a salary cap situation, which makes me believe that it's a myth.
Look, at one point or another, it is a myth. At one point or another, you got to reset it, i.e. the Rams right now. They did this with Breeze. They went all in for a Super Bowl. They didn't win one. Now they're staying on that same path. I hate to break it to you, but Dallas is on a very similar path.
Very similar path. Yeah, no, 100%.
Eventually, you're going to have to say, you know what, we got to
you got to blow it up. And that's what the Rams are doing is they trade Jalen Ramsey for a bag of balls and a third-round pick. And that's no disrespect to the tight end they traded for, but again, nobody had a clue who
Hunter
he was.
Short?
I have no idea.
Hunter Long.
There you go. Well, they go Hunter Short on Hunter Long, if he's even on the app, which I don't think he is. I would say that obviously the Miami Dolphins now have a nice little new look in their secondary. Their corners are all of a sudden the X-Man, Xavier Howard, and, of course, now Jalen Ramsey. That practice is going to be fun, huh? Waddle and Hill and Ramsey and Howard.
See, I think it's a great signing or a great trade for them. It makes them better. In this modern NFL, you need to stop receivers and you need to score points. They have the ability to do both. What worries me about this is it's tailor-made for a team that's built for the regular season and then has to go travel somewhere cold and then struggle again. Are they going to be able to stop the run with their corners? Are they going to be able to run the ball? I think they'll be able to run the ball effectively on offense, but a team like Miami, they're going to have to go into Buffalo. I don't care. You're going to have to play smash mouth at some point or another in the AFC, especially now. But look, the quarterbacks in the AFC right now
are
especially
loaded.
Potentially adding Rodgers to the mix.
We'll get into that. Yeah.
You know, you're going to need to be able to stop receivers. And, you know, Miami, got to tip your hat. They're trying.
Right before this trade, Miami was able to free up about $40 million. They reworked a lot of contracts. They opened up around $40 million. That's what made this trade possible, I guess.
Yeah, it's got to be a good thing being a Dolphins fan, seeing all the efforts that they're putting in.
The effort's there. The coach is there.
Trying.
They also picked up Tua's fifth-year option. So that's a big thing, specifically in the Mojo market where I was big. We were both in on Tua with his low price on the market, and now you're getting the reinsurance that he will be the quarterback there this year and next. So there you go. I mean, that's the questions were answered there. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, shut down the Tom Brady rumors and anything like
Brady
that.
shut down the Tom Brady rumors. Brady went out there and says, "Dude, I don't have any time. I have a daughter with a cat."
I mean, that to
that
me,
was hilarious.
That didn't shut down a thing for me, right?
Right.
But
and then he's like, "F this cat. I got to get out of here."
He's not going to Miami now.
No, he's not.
We'll agree to that.
No, he's not. Interesting one. I want your take on this one. The Saints, with their cap situation, with the acquisition of Derek Carr, have told Jameis Winston they want to rework a deal to have him stay there. Why?
Because they need to save money.
No, but why wouldn't you just outright cut him? He's not your starter. You signed Derek Carr to be your starter.
Well, look at the contract situation. Is there a cap hit? I would bet there is, because he was a free agent last year.
I thought he was a free agent this year.
But he was a free agent last year, so I don't think that he's an unrestricted free agent right now.
I don't think so
either.
either.
He's under contract, and they want to work out a deal to keep him around as the backup. But
he does have a void. All right, so here's the deal. He's got So he's got no guaranteed money coming his way this year. His cap number is $15.6 million. If they cut him, they're going to eat some dead money. So
exactly.
They have to figure out something.
They don't want to pay him 15 towards the cap this year. And guess what? Michael Thomas is in a situation where he's celebrating because he knows he can't be cut because they would lose double his salary.
They want to extend Michael Thomas from everything I'm reading.
Not because of his play.
No, not at all.
Not because of his play. It's much like Dak, no offense. But they're fixing a previous error with the contract. And I'm not saying Dak doesn't deserve to get an extension. I'm saying that's why he got one.
So what I've read about the Dak deal and other deals like this is that they do put these years at the back end, meaning like I'm looking at Jameis Winston, right? And 24, 25, and 26. He's under contract with the Saints, but they're all voidable years. What these years are the ability to extend into those years and actually fill those voided years, meaning those 3 years that he has, even if he gets an extension, it's literally just pushing money to the back end, and it will hurt you down the line.
It hurts the team.
Yeah,
down
that's
the
what I'm saying.
line.
It will hurt.
Because what's end up happening here is you keep on guaranteeing more of that money. Like, so if you extend him, then like when you sign a guaranteed contract and it's like $100 million guaranteed at a $150 million deal, but the last 3 years are voidable, and then to fix that, you extend him again and you guarantee the signing bonus again. It becomes
those voidable years go away, and now you're paying him for those years. So that's what I think they're going to do with Winston, and most teams are going to do. Look, they technically have until Wednesday to do it, but you would think the next 4 hours of programming or next 4 hours of real time are when people are going to start really working some deals. I expect some heavy movement within the next 4 years.
You could expect a potential Aaron Rodgers announcement. We could expect.
I'll get into that in a second.
Keyshawn Nixon.
Interesting to see the Eagles, Darius Slay, who also wants a new deal. He's gotten permission for a trade out of Philadelphia. Why the heck would you want to leave Philadelphia? You just went to a Super Bowl. You got yourself a decent defense. Darius Slay, to me, has regressed a little bit over time. I don't foresee that being a big deal if they do trade him. Howie, whatever the hell his name is, Roseman is a great GM. He'll probably pull somebody's third-round pick for this kid. So props to the Eagles who are about to probably cash in on that. Like I said, the tampering starts at noon. Now, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made within the confines of this next couple hours because there's rumors about Baker Mayfield to the Bucs, but all of a sudden Baker Mayfield has a couple suitors, which is, to me, is like, oh, well, interesting.
I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on there.
Did his agent tell you that?
Probably. DeAndre Hopkins still wants to be traded to Dallas. Dallas has made some moves to restructure and open up some money over the weekend. My biggest thing is the Zeke move next? Within the next couple hours, is the Zeke move going to happen?
Well,
is a Tyron Smith move?
If Hopkins is a Cowboy, Zeke ain't.
Huh?
If Hopkins is a Cowboy, Zeke ain't. Well, Zeke ain't.
You would have to. So
Zeke's gone.
See, here's the thing. I read an article by a guy. Again, he gave me my first break over at the Cowboys Wire. KD Drummond. He put out a fantastic article about how they can rework the Zeke deal and just make it strictly incentive based. Give him a base salary of $2 million and have him have the chance to earn up to $8 million.
Is Zeke on board?
More than likely, because who the hell isn't? I mean, who the hell is? Who's going to be the guy? Like, we need Zeke. Like, there's not a lot. I'm telling you right now, for whatever reason, there's not a big market for Ezekiel Elliott, and I still think he's got some legs.
Well, I mean,
right?
there's not a big market for him at the dollar amount, but if he's willing to take a massive pay cut, there's a guarantee a ton of teams would sign Zeke at the right dollar amount. I would at free.
So the next question is this regarding your boy Aaron Rodgers. Now he spoke to, I believe, Brandon Marshall, kind of alluded to like, oh, we're gonna get a decision soon. So from what I gather, listening to the radio on the way in, Boomer Esiason says that both teams already know what's happening. They know what's happening because if they didn't, that would hamper their ability to go sign everybody else at 12 o'clock. Because think about it, like the Jets had to rework a couple things. They got rid of Barrios, right? They signed a couple of their guys over the weekend, right, for a long-term extension, opening up this year's cap hit. You would think that they have like a plan, like Plan A, right? Plan A is we have X amount of dollars because we got Aaron Rodgers. Plan B is we got F ton of more money because we don't have Aaron Rodgers.
We got to put Jimmy G there.
Yeah, and then we got to put Jimmy G, right? So they don't want Plan B. All signs point to the Jets taking Rodgers on with the contract and everything that's being worked out. Do you think this is detrimental to either squad, Packers or the Jets, if they wait any longer than the next 3 hours? Because think about it. You got to know what kind of price you're going to be able to spend out there in free agency. Your tampering gets tampered with, no?
Yeah, I think put it this way. Green Bay actually would benefit in the salary cap if Rodgers stays. Like, Rodgers getting traded, Green Bay takes a $7 million cap hit in addition this year. Like, their cap gets worse. For a fact, it just gets exponentially better after this season. Like, it's done after this season.
But there's a chance that they can have the Jets eat some of that now, right? Because I think that's the holdup.
I think the holdup really is Rodgers at this point. They already agreed to the terms, so that's done.
You think that's done, huh?
That's done. That's announced. It's done.
No.
The teams agreed to the terms. Now they're awaiting Rodgers' decision.
What are we waiting for, Aaron?
Come on, bro.
Hey, Aaron, you want to play football next year? Cool. It's with the Jets. No? Then you're home. Like, that's it. Like,
Rodgers might be pulling some, like, Randall Cobb's available, like making sure the Jets are on board with what he wants to do in a certain way, which I think that would be corny, but very
let's
likely.
Be honest. They just got rid of Barrios. Why not a Randall Cobb in that spot? I like it. It's nice. It's a nice little familiarity thing, right? For the locker room, you got to make this guy happy. Make sure all the red peanuts are taken out, or red M&Ms, or whatever the hell you want. But
I think that these teams know what's going on. The Packers have a worse situation.
It's like you're refreshing Twitter over and over and over again.
They have a worse situation cap-wise if Rodgers gets traded. But as I said, it helps out exponentially down the line. And so really, I don't think the Packers care. They kind of know what's happening. They want it to happen more than anybody. But the Jets and the Saints situation is what I think jumps this to the 13th pick overall. You know, Derek Carr signing with the Saints. The Jets are desperate now. We just talked about it. We talked about their plan B would be Jimmy G and a ton of money. I don't know that plan B works out for the Jets fan base. Could you imagine going from this right now with Rodgers as the Jets quarterback to like it's not going to work? That Jets Nation would be in peril.
Not only would Jets Nation be in peril, but the fans that don't like the Jets would have material for the rest of their lives. Curious little thing here from Field Yates, who I do find very, very interesting on Twitter. He said, free agency has legitimate perils, especially in long term, but could provide immediate upside. The highest spending team in the last 7 years, right, has spiked in wins. 2016, the Giants were the highest spenders. They won 5 more games than they did the previous year. The next year, the Jaguars with 7, the Bears with 7. The next year, the Jets with 3, the Dolphins with 5, the Patriots with 3. Last year's Jaguars, who went ham on Christian Kirk and guys like that, they won 6 more games than they did. Free agency, look, I know there's a lot of people that like to, I'm directing this right at Dallas, but like there's a lot of people that like to build through the draft. And you can do that if you hit on every round, right? And these guys become starters and long-term guys and lifers and all that stuff, and it works out awesome, right? But free agency is huge, man, because it's like the cap goes up for a reason. You got all this money to spend. You got to make the moves you got to make. And I think right off the rip, before free agency even starts, you got teams like the Dolphins who are like, we're in. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. And look, the AFC of all the conference, like of both conferences, it's not close. Like, the AFC is loaded. They know they got to make moves.
Put Rodgers in the AFC.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, so look at the AFC East. The AFC East, besides the Patriots, who I think have been bums last year too, but I mean, they were like a game away from the playoffs.
And they're still going to be a tough out. They're still going to be tough. It's like you go in and play the Patriots.
They draft a quarterback.
They're going to play good defense. And
yeah, no. You're going to be watching Red Sleeves Judon all over the place. But I like the AFC East alone. I just think it's going to be fun. It always is every year. 12 o'clock it starts. I'm excited to see what moves are made between now and then for that extra little cap space. Maybe a couple trades down the line. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting, man. Segueing over to the NBA for just a couple minutes. Over the weekend, 22 games. 22 games for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there's a lot of movement on the market. A lot of liquid props. Have you seen their no-brainer bet? Have you seen that pop up on the old socials?
I have not.
Wow, you got to really get on social media. I know you don't go on social media. I haven't had a brain
the last week.
It's true.
I've been kind of out of it.
The no-brainer bet is when they set a guy real low on the liquid prop, like a Julius Randle.
So it's like free money bet.
Basically, and
unless it's Julius Randle and he scores 4 points.
No, he scored 33 last night, and the Knicks beat the Lakers. So thank God, because they absolutely needed that. All of a sudden, that little losing streak that the Knicks decided they wanted to venture down a losing streak. After a winning streak, why not go on a losing streak? That makes sense. It's so Knicks. But after that, and the Nets last night beat the Nuggets 122-120. All of a sudden, they have the same winning percentage. So they are 5-6, and the Nets have jumped them. So the Nets are sitting there at the 5 right now, and the Knicks dropped to 6. It happened, everybody. Like I was sitting there like, write the Nets off. It's over. It is over. They traded away all their stars.
It was like Friday.
It felt like it, right?
Like no, maybe on your solo show you may have.
No, I wrote the. You know what it is? The last solo show I did, I wrote the Nets off, and I said, "That's it. They're done. They've traded everybody away. It's over." All of a sudden, they're a little scrappy little team that doesn't want to go away. That sucks for the Knicks.
Jacques Vaughn. Good coach.
Great coach. Look at their record since he's been head coach.
He's no Spoelstra, but
he's not a Spoelstra. Spoelstra also had the world handed to him. Saturday. Yeah, dude, he started with Bosh, LeBron, and Wade. Stop it. It's the easiest job. You and me can go out there and coach that team.
What has he done since they left?
They're a playoff team every year.
Every year.
Yeah, sure.
You lose Wade, you lose LeBron, and you lose Bosh, and you make the postseason.
You got Jimmy Buckets now. You do. You got, what's his guy? The dude with the punchable face.
Tyler Herro?
Uh-huh.
And he took him to the finals.
I do remember that. Was that COVID year?
It was the bubble.
Was that? Yeah, it was Toronto, right? Them in Toronto? No.
The Lakers. Lakers beat them.
The NBA Eastern Conference Finals, is that Toronto and Miami?
I think it was Boston.
I don't know. Toronto and
I don't know. It was the
I'm
bubble.
saying, I want to say, what's this guy had a Van Vliet?
Yeah.
I don't know. Dude, my memory from 2020
Great
is...
interview, by the way, post game.
Oh, you
by
saw
Van Vliet.
that was, you can't go wrong with
He
that.
was just like, I don't care anymore.
That was
What are you gonna do
great.
about it.
So anyway,
30,000.
yeah. So looking, catching up on the NBA, like I said, the Bucks still remain a game and a half up on the Celtics. 48-58, it's a 7-67. There's like literally 15 games left. Great. I had to do quick math, but like we're down the stretch here, guys. Like, so this is the NBA is really getting tight, especially the top three of the East with the Bucks, the Celtics, and the 76ers. We've seen that. I don't see the Cleveland Cavaliers battling to get the 3, so they're probably entrenched in the 4 seed. So they're going to either play the Nets or the Knicks. The Miami Heat are down 3.5 games from those teams, so I don't think they can move at all. The Nuggets last night, like I said, lost the game. They've lost 3 straight. Any worry about the Nuggets right now?
A little bit. I mean, why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
3 straight. You can make the case that they're
I mean,
kind
there's
of
still
just,
a 5 on the Kings, who are the 2nd seed. So they're
now
like,
worry about
they've
what?
cruised.
Worry about what? Like, are the Nuggets going to win the NBA Finals? That's all I'm worried about if I'm the Nuggets right now. Because you know you're a playoff team. You know you're probably the 1 seed. But are they a championship contender? We're going to find out. I think losing 3 games in a row at any point in the season isn't a very good sign, but it could be something that galvanizes them a little bit, and they say, hey, look, we didn't win anything yet. We got to figure this out. You know, pack it in a little bit.
We do have officially 3 teams eliminated from playoff contention. Now would be the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Pistons.
The Rockets have been trying to get eliminated since last year, though. They don't care.
Why? Why? You know, it's like, it's crazy.
Bro, it's wild how certain, and I'm going based on, since the James Harden days where they were like at least a somewhat of a contender, they've just gone off the face of the earth. They've gone downhill every year. And then when you hear guys like John Wall talking and you hear players that are vets around the league talking to young guys like, keep your head up when you're in Houston, like get out of there as soon as you can.
Sounds like a great place to be.
Bad ownership.
Yeah.
Bad ownership. I think they got a Fertitta cousin. The Fertitta owns the Rockets.
Yeah.
But it's like not Lorenzo or Frank, the guys that own the UFC. It's their crazy cousin.
Well, that crazy cousin has a crazy
lot of money.
investment. You can invest in us by following us. How about that? Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at Mojo, MOJO. Of course, we're on the Discord. That's a daily conversation. You just have to be there to find out all the stuff that's happening on the Mojo Market. And of course, download the app right now. It's available on your iPhones, on your Androids, everything that you have. Go download that. One thing before we get out of here, did you see Rutgers with the snub? They did not make the tournament.
They didn't deserve to after
The back half of this season was just, it's been brutal. And
NIT champs.
I mean, yeah, they did get into the NIT. Is there anything more defeating than getting into the NIT? Do you think anybody has aspirations to get to
How
the
about
NIT?
this? Yes, I do know something more defeating than winning the NIT. Like, get there and win it. And you're like, now what do we do, guys?
Here, you want this headline newspaper?
this
You
back
can
to
you want to
school.
cut down the net or
Take
you know,
this
like
back with you.
dude, the NIT is the worst thing.
I also botched my
even...
joke. I could think of one thing, but I ruined it. You heard, but you know what I'm talking about.
No,
right?
I thought it was fine.
I said the punchline as the delivery.
Oh, yeah. You're bombing on stage like one Jimmy Palumbo over the weekend. I'm kidding. You had a great show. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, that's it for us today. There is a lot to get into tomorrow, guys. The frenzy begins. It's going to be from today all the way to Wednesday to find out where new teams. You got to check all of your stocks because they're going to rise or they're going to fall based off situations. Again, I'm invested in plenty of guys. I already made some money on the new Daniel Jones contract.
I hope you guys invested in Jordan Love this offseason.
Jordan Love, all of a sudden, and listen, I have to give credit where credit's due. If anybody told you about Jordan Love on how many times to get in on him, it was this guy next to me. So right now, Jordan Love in the last 24 hours is up another 5%. Over the week, another 21%. Over the month, over 48%. Over the year, 263%.
So,
Jordan Love,
when we
folks.
entered this offseason, I said Jordan Love is the #1 player you should invest in going into the offseason.
We tried to tell you.
Tried to tell you.
Tried to tell you. We'll see you guys tomorrow.